Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. A bit of a different video this time. Obviously no carts around or anything like that, but I did want to do this walkthrough of the KartSetups software. So a little bit of background to this. Obviously I've raced for many years and I've tried to keep track of setup data and analysis and things like that. And it is really tricky. It's tricky to do kind of at the track anyway when you're busy. But that data needs to go somewhere if you want to analyse it or remember it. So last year I'd kind of decided enough was enough, and obviously being in software on a day-to-day basis, I built a little prototype, and I just kind of used that for myself for a little while. And then I mentioned it to a few people I know within karting, and they really liked the idea of it. So I thought, I might be onto something here that's actually useful for people. And I think if we build this in the right way, then we'll be onto something that actually works for people. So yes, I decided to set it up. I did more development on it, put more features into it, and then very early this year, I set up a beta program with a few individuals and a team, and then we just worked through the system, ironed out any problems, added some features that they thought would be really good, and then in April. I think it was about April the 14th, something like that, we actually launched. So we've been running for, quite a few months now. And the reception to the software has been, really good. People have really enjoyed it, find it really useful, and it obviously plugs a gap that people wanted to fill in with something easy to use like this. So yeah, that's a bit of background. I'm going to obviously keep working on it, keep making features better. Lots of people have really helped me with this, and I've got some really cool ideas. So, yeah, we're going to continue forward. So this is the login page. Pretty simple. It is what it is. Obviously, you sign up. I'll make you an account, and then you can set up your password and things like that. So we'll log in here. And then this takes you to your dashboard, which kind of for ease is quite simple. So obviously we've got your menu at the top, then we've got kind of quick links here. So all of these link to basically different menus here. It's more for like phones, so it's easy to just kind of hit and things like that. And then here we've got recent sessions, so just a quick view over of sessions and some data surrounding them in chronological order, so you can see what happened. So on to meetings. So meetings are basically the focal point of where data builds from in this. So if we go to the meetings page here, obviously everything's built off of that. So all your sessions are built off meetings. Sessions is where your data is held. So the meetings aspect is quite important here. So to create a new one, we simply go here. We can call it yet another test meeting, or whatever you want to call it. Select track. So we do have a default list here. This is actually all the UK tracks, so no matter what country you're from at the minute, you will see this default list. It is on my list to do default tracks for other countries as well, and you'll be able to select your country and get another list of tracks. So that's something that will eventually come, but then other tracks as well that you've added that might not be here. I don't know, say like the new Silverstone track coming or something like that. If you wanted this in here, then you could add that as well. So we'll just select Kim Bolton for the sake of it, and then the date when that is. Any description you want to add, you can add as well, and that's simply adding a meeting. Click save, and there we go. We've got another meeting ready to go. There will be a summary of this if you want to. It will display laps, and then you can also export it as well and delete should you need to. So tracks is another important one. Obviously, you want to know where your data is from. So tracks, really simple. This is, we're literally just storing a track name at the end of the day. So I've got some here that aren't in the default list because obviously some of these are more the bigger long circuit tracks when I did the supercar. So here we will simply enter a name, test track, track note should you want any, date of when you added it, and here we just have some general track setup information. So if say you go to a track and you always know, your wet setup's going to be X, Y, Z. Your gearing's always going to be pretty much this. Tire pressures are this, that kind of thing. Then you can enter that here. So it's not really session based. So this was a request from somebody. So any of that kind of high level data that when you go to a track it's 20 psi in the wets as opposed to lots of other tracks where it's 15 or something like that, then you can easily put that data here and it's stored against the track. So click save on that. We've got another track and you can view and delete that should you wish. So obviously equipment is a big thing in karting. We've got loads and loads of equipment. You can have an assortment of engines and carbs and all sorts like that. So obviously we made that very apparent with the software, so you can track all of that. So if we have a look up here, we've got carts, engines, carbs, tyres and exhausts. Pretty much the main stuff that you're going to be swapping in and out of your cart when testing. So all that's tracked here. So if we have a look at carts, we've got a list of carts here. Pretty simple. So we'll add another one, which will be test cart. You can store the chassis number, description, and the date of when it was added, or whatever you want that to be. Could be when you bought it, for example, something like that. So we'll add that. So that is the carts. Engines. So this is a little bit more in depth. So obviously you can track your engines. We'll add one here. Just call it test engine. Your engine number obviously for scrutineering, description and date again. And we've added that. But a cool feature that we do have here is rebuilds. So obviously as you put time on an engine on a session and get that logged, it will appear here. So you can keep track of your runtime. I know I've found that hard to track, without the little loggers on it. So if you've got one of those loggers on it, obviously it's quite simple. But the session data here will also track your runtime for the engine. So say you were coming up to, let's say, an hour on here. You can log a rebuild here, say what was done. Say, I don't know, it was full. We did it on 14th. Save that. And then in rebuilds here, we'll have it logged and it would be the runtime of whatever that rebuild is. And just a really nice, easy and simple way to keep track of your engine time here. So that's very useful. So again, carbs, pretty much the same thing. List of stuff here, runtime of your carburetors, and you can log a rebuild and view your rebuilds here as well. So I'll just create a test carb. Add that, and I'm sure actually I rebuilt this one the other day, so you can see this has got a rebuild date logged as well. Then we'll move on to tyres. So tyres again, list your sets of tyres here, name them however you want to, and this will also track based off the used laps that you find in the session data as well, which is really useful. So we can simply add a set here. And the other really cool thing you can do here as well, you've got to keep track of your barcode numbers for a lot of championships and meetings and that kind of thing. So you can also upload files here. So you can take a picture on your phone and upload it, or if you've just got it on your computer, you can easily upload it here again, and you can add those. So I'll give you a quick example of one of those. So this was a set of my Maxis Sports. If you really want to copy the barcodes, you can. And obviously it will support portrait, here as well, should you want to do that. But if you do it horizontally, it just looks a bit better. Then finally we've got exhausts. So in some classes you're probably not swapping the exhaust at all, but quite a few classes do. So again, you can just add an exhaust here as well. And you'll be able to use that later in the session data. And that's it for equipment. So sessions are going to be the bulk of where you spend your time on the platform. So obviously you can see here I've got 61 sessions stored here, so you do get quite a few of them. So let's head into those. You can see they're organised by meeting. So this was a test day at Risenton, and you can see the sessions in with that. I didn't have the micron running all that much, so I haven't got anything logged there, but you can see in the past I did, and I logged that. So yeah, this page, just a quick overview. See your lap, see the delta compared to that, which is quite useful for a little bit of quick analysis. So we will create a new one. And we will attach it to this test meeting. We'll attach it to the test engine, the test cart, and the test carb. You can date it, which will fall into the hour closest. Let's just make that 11:30. Length, so again, so you can store that. Best time, should you want to add it here, if you know it, you can do. We'll do times another way a bit later, so I'll come back to that one. We'll use the test tyres, the test exhaust. We'll say we're in 100cc class. We've got lots of classes here, so should your class not be listed, message us and we can sort that. Low RPM, high RPM, total laps, so that's what you would use for tyres. And then we can keep going on and on here. You can really go as in depth as you want. So you've got weight, right, hard, front width, rear width, top speed, sprocket. So let's say we were 980. That will work out the ratio for you as well. Then we've got tyre pressures all here. So let's just log some of those. So these are light blue and light red here as well. So that was for accessibility reasons. So you can see which ones are which. And then I'll log that as well. Then exercise 50, length 10:30, medium, and again, toe into Castor-Camber, Posneg, Ackerman. Weather is a good one here. So we have an automatic weather system that will get your location should you allow it. So if we click that, you can see that we've now got automatic weather input here. So air temp, pressure, precipitation, not raining at the minute, and a description of it as well. Then you can add track temp, spark plug, and notes on your jetting should you wish. Temperatures again, so your water temp and exhaust temp can be logged here. Fuel oil mix, parts, any parts that you move, take in or out, you can add there. Any notes, so if there's something that you track that doesn't really make sense to be an actual setting, then you can of course add that here. Then we've also got files as well. So should you have any files, maybe your Micron files, even GoPro files, if you wanted to, you can upload here. So yeah, that's an overview of what you can add in the session data. We'll save that one. And you can see we've added it to the meeting and the session. I will just show you. We have a simplified layout as well, because obviously that is quite in depth. So should you wish to have a simpler layout, you can set that in your profile, save that, go back to your sessions, view that one, and we've got a much simpler session view here with just the basics that you'd need, really. And you can fill those in, and if you don't want to go as in depth, there's all the other stuff you can do. So you can set that, and all your sessions will look like that. But we'll set that back, save, back to sessions, have a look at that one, and you can see we're back to viewing everything there. So if we go back to the list, we can export that, so that will export it to a CSV should you want to do anything else with the data that you've input in. But one of the really useful things is copy. So obviously you shouldn't really do loads of changes between sessions because you don't know what works. So a lot of your data is quite similar. So the last thing you want to do is be going back through that session, adding loads and loads of data that you've just added to another session again. So what you can do is you can hit copy here. It will copy the setup. See, it goes in here, and most of your data will come across. Some things will change. So things like the length, your laps. I think this wipes your time as well. So it doesn't copy those over because it knows they're going to change every session. But your actual setup data stays the same when you add it. So that just saves you going back in here every session, adding all that data again, and it's just time consuming, especially if you're on your phone or iPad or something like that. So you can come in here now and you can just say, we changed tyre pressure. So actually we went up to 10 cold, and we ended up at 13 hot, and that was the only change we did. And now you've got that stored. So we'll hit save on that, and that's how that works. So laps, this is quite useful here, just to get a summary of your laps. You can add laps manually here, should you wish. Otherwise, I'll come back to this one later because that's to do with analysis later on. So I'll come back to that one. But upload alpha results file. You can use this as well. So a lot of places in the UK at least use the alpha timing system. I think a few other championships do in the world. So you'll be able to use this as well should you use alpha timing. But you can upload the lap times that you download from alpha themselves. So if we click here, make sure driver name is filled out properly, because that's how we match up the laps. And then we'll find a file to upload, which is here. So we'll upload that, and that's now added some laps. So if we look at that now, we can see laps that have been added, and that's all imported from that alpha results file, and it will also set your best lap as well. So if you have a look in there, that's now set. So again, just another little useful feature to help you along. And yeah, that is pretty much it for sessions. The next section we'll move on to is tools. So these are things that just make your life a little bit easier when away karting. So checklists. This is quite useful. So if you've got any checklists to do with things that you do to the kart, after every session or maybe after every meeting, stripping it down, sorting it out, things like that. Or even I use it for van equipment for the race weekend, so making sure I've got everything in the van. So yeah, it's literally just checklists. So tick off when you've done something, and that's really useful. So we'll make a new one. So we'll call this test checklist. checklist for not a lot. Then we can add as many fields as you want. So check number 1, check number 2, check number 3, check number 4, and we can save that. And now I've got a test checklist, so now we can go into here and we can do log checklist. So you can go, cool, okay, I did 1, 3 and 4 on this one, save that. That will be saved, and then you can view it as well. So it would log when you did that checklist, and you can go back and view it. You can't edit it because it's, data's been done at that point, but you can see what was done. So yeah, just a neat little tool just to help you remember that you've got everything or done everything that you should do going forward. So another tool that's really useful is the stopwatch. So most people use a Prisma or an Alfano physical device to time drivers. Here it's within the portal. It's much easier and looks better on the mobile. Obviously here it looks a bit stretched because it's actually in the desktop, but on mobile where you'll be using it anyway, it looks much better. So if we click start here, we start that timer running. That will vibrate on the phone just to let you know that it's running. So we'll add a few laps here. Then we'll stop that. So we've got 3 laps added there. So this will always be available here, even if you navigate away to somewhere else in the system, then come back to here. These laps will always be saved, so unless you clear them down, they'll always be here. So you can obviously run through these with your driver, or you can also save them against the session. So we've got a list of the sessions here. So you can find the one that you want to add to, and you can then save them. And that laps bit that we saw earlier, where we can see all the laps, they will be added into there, and you can view them. And of course, it'll also work out your best lap time from here as well. So yeah, pretty useful little stopwatch there for driving a particular driver. It is in my development plans to change this to be able to time multiple drivers. Just something I haven't done yet, but that is coming one day. So one of the other sections in the portal is the analysis area, where we have fastest laps, compare setups and session data. So we'll have a quick look at fastest laps. This is pretty self-explanatory. Choose your track, choose your kart, and it will plot your fastest laps over time. So obviously if you've been at the same track for a whole year, you'll be able to see your improvement over time with your fastest laps. It's just a quick view of that. And then one thing that's really useful is compare setups. So when you are doing your testing and you want to compare, those smaller changes that you've done, say you've found a second from somewhere and you want to try and understand where that's come from and what you did, you'll be able to find it with this analysis here. So let's choose a meeting, or session rather. So let's choose Heat 3 that I did at Risenton, and the final at Risenton, which I won. So really visual this one. So obviously green is same data, red is different data, and your grey is no data. So you can see that we're on the same car, engine, carb, tyre. It was the same length, although we gained 5/10 there. So you can see we got a better lap. Then laps was the same, weight was the same, or weight wasn't input, sorry, so we don't show that. And then you can see that our gearing was the same as well. However, when you come to the pressure, you can see that our cold pressure we changed for the final. And then weather was also the same, so no difference there. You see we didn't fill in too much in here, but again, if you'd filled all this in, you'd see the differences. Same axle size, same rims. Notes pretty much always be different. Be surprised if your notes are exactly the same. And you can see those changes there. So a really easy way to know that by changing the pressure, we found 5/10 from somewhere, most likely anyway. So yeah, easy way to quickly analyse your sessions and see where those changes are. So the big update as part of version 2 of KartSetups is the analysis session data area. But first, we're going to go to sessions and laps. So this is where we come into the upload AIM RS3 file. So actually we'll do it on this one. So here we need to upload a particular file. So what we need actually for this is Race Studio 3. So this is for Micron 5s or actually anything else that works with Race Studio 3. So any of the AIM products should work for this. And basically we need to get that data after you've imported it into Race Studio 3. We need to then export it back out again. On importing, actually, you can do it this way. So there is data download, advanced, and if you click this RS2 analysis style CSV here, when you import it, it should automatically generate you that file as well. So it's best to tick that going forward. But for anything in the past, what you have to do is you have to do conversion of files, batch convert, and then tick the RS2 analysis style export format again. Then you need to go to files and select the session basically that's been imported into Race Studio 3, and that's usually in C, AM Sport, Race Studio 3, user data, and then the date of when you did it. So we will open that, and now we're going to click convert. And that will convert, and if I bring this over here, you will see that we now have a CSV file here, and that will contain all the data that we need. So back to KartSetups. So we need to upload that file now, and we're going to do that. Let me just find it. There we go. So I did that in, and we're going to save now. That will just take a little while just to import that data, because there is a lot of data within there. And now you can see that on here we've got all those laps now. So it will generate those laps for you as part of uploading that. So now over to the fun bit, which is session data. So completely new feature. This has been quite a lot of hard work, something I wanted to do. I just find analysis at this level just doesn't look very good and is very hard to do. It can be quite a pain. So if we choose that session that we did, some cool things are going to happen. So it shows your laps here. So let's just say that we want to have a look at lap 13 first. And we'll just let that data load in. And now this is really cool. So you can see that it's plotted the GPS coordinates for that lap on the map, and you can see where you're going. And then it's plotted the session data down below on the graph. So obviously you can have a look at this, check your lines, see what you're doing, and yeah, just generally check that you know what you're doing is correct. And then of course here as well, so this is really cool. You've got all your data along here. Currently the data supports water temperature and exhaust temperature. So if you've got either or both of those, then this supports it at the minute. Other things will be coming down the line, so I know you can add a lot more, different things, wheel speed, braking, throttle positions and all that. So they will come later. I just need to find somebody to work with that's got the data basically. So that will be coming in the future. But yeah, here you can see it will plot your position on the lower graph and it will plot it on the graph up above, so you can just exactly see where that data is. So you can see as we come down to the heavy braking point at Rissington, we can see all of that falling down here, and then as we get back on the power all the way around here, everything climbs again. So just, really, really easy to have a look at that kind of data. And if we just unselect RPM as well, then we can see the other data quite easily as well. So you can see speed and water temp as well, very easily on the graph. So we'll put RPM back on. And then we will have a look at another lap as well. So you can tick multiple laps and it will draw them. And there we go, a little bit difficult to see. So better if you zoom in on a corner, and you can just see the slight differences in line down there. So this lap's pretty much bang on, slightly tighter line into there, but yeah, other than that, not too bad at all. And then if we zoom out again, zoom in a little bit, we'll be able to plot GPS on here as well. So you can actually see pretty similar all the way through here, all along, but actually where kind of the difference is here, at least on the RPM, here's the braking. So my braking, you could say here, needs to be a bit better. I need to probably be harder and more consistent. And what's really cool is you can highlight the graph as well and zoom in on that, so you can get a better look at it as it adjusts. And then it's really, really easy to see. So when we probably start braking back here, you can see our RPMs a little bit up and down. So on this one we probably braked really quite hard, but here we weren't really braking enough. So you can really go into this deep analysis here, which is really, really useful. And of course you can turn off your filters here if you just want to select certain things. So yeah, well, I've found this really powerful, and I think this is a really good addition to KartSetups. It's currently for individuals only, so you can use this as part of a team if you use the team subscription, but you can only the mechanics would only be able to look at it as individuals. And obviously if you're an individual and got KartSetups, you can look at yourself. In the future you will be able to cross-reference as a team other drivers' laps, so you can compare drivers' data against another. But this already has been a lot of work, and so the team side is more work again. So again, I just need to find the time to do that feature. But I wanted to get this V1 out so you could use it on an individual basis and on a driver basis as well. So yeah, that is how you do the analysis for the session data. So KartSetups is really useful for teams. So as a team manager or team owner, you can purchase KartSetups and use it as a team. So this login is what we're in right now. So you can see we're in the team Pulse Karting. Dashboard's pretty much the same, although you can see there's a driver column and a logged by column here. So team managers and team owners, they will manage the users and drivers and equipment. And the users are basically your mechanics. So in here, in users, you can add your mechanics in here, and then you can sign up and use the platform as a mechanic under your team. They will get a much simpler menu at the top. They'll just get sessions and a bit of analysis and tools. They don't get users, drivers and equipment. Thought it was better to just let them handle on session data and all that, and the team manager, team owner makes sure that, you know, all the equipment's there for them to use and everything like that. It's much easier that way than every man and his dog adding equipment and you not knowing where anything is. So that's the reason that was done. So yes, in here as well. So drivers, you can add your drivers in here, quite easy. You can also store their transponder numbers. And yeah, you'll probably have a list of your drivers there to be used in the sessions. So if we have a look at sessions here, the team manager and team owner will be able to view all sessions for everyone. So any mechanics that log theirs, they will appear in here. So lots of the platform is, you know, as it is individually. It's just the analysis and storage is more on a driver basis. So if we have a look at this one here, we can see that this one is assigned to driver number 2. And we can see that this one is driver number 1. So, you know, a driver is now stored in the session if you're in the team login. And yeah, you'll be able to see those. Tools, so checklists and stopwatch, that's the same. Analysis is different, so obviously the fastest laps graph we saw before can be done by a driver now. Same with meeting by drivers. This is quite useful, so you can select your meeting and see your laps by your drivers here, if they were in that meeting, for example, which is quite useful. Compare setups again. You will see all of the sessions for drivers, so you can do test number 2 against test. This is another feature actually. You can change the colours of these in your profile should you wish. I've changed them here, and you can see the differences there and compare your drivers' setups, which is really useful. Then of course the session data side is exactly how it is for the individual, so you'll only be seeing your own sessions there and analysing those. So yeah, really useful to keep track of your team's data and to quickly analyse it on the fly. Give your mechanics logins to be able to log in, manage their driver and their setup, and then at the end of the day for you to be able to collectively review that is really powerful feature of KartSetups. And yeah, that's an overview of the team side. So the Android and iOS KartSetups apps, the KartSetups app is currently released on the Google Play Store, so therefore available to Android devices, and the iOS app will be coming in the future. So that process is quite involved and quite costly, and I need a Mac to be able to do it. So I just haven't got round to that yet, but it will come in the future for Apple devices. So today I'm going to show you the Android version. So once you've downloaded the app, give it a click, you'll log in like normal. If you log in recently, it'll automatically log you in. And here you can see we've got the normal quick links at the top, and you can see your recent sessions. Should you wish, you can also rotate this horizontally as well, and it will adjust, and you can use everything like that if you want to. So that's a bit more useful for, you know, tablets and things like that. So you'll mainly be dealing with sessions on a phone, so we'll have a quick look at that. We'll have a quick look at one of our recent test sessions, view that. You can edit all the data like normal, but it will be in kind of like this list format as well. But all the features are the same. You're able to use it just like you can on a laptop or a desktop or anything like that. Then the menu at the top, that lists all the things that you can get to, so you can get to your equipment, get to your tools, get to your analysis as well. Analysis I would save for somewhere where you've got a monitor, either a laptop or a desktop. If you really need to do it on a phone, you can, but it's much easier on a laptop, for example. One of the things we will take a look at is the stopwatch. So we'll clear those laps down, and you can see here this is much more usable on a phone now. So if we click start there, we can hit the laps and stop that as well. And yeah, it's just super easy on a phone. it's built that way, and yeah, it's very useful. But yeah, if you want to look at the profile, click your picture. You can deal with all your profile stuff in there, and you can hit the power icon to log out as well. But yeah, apart from that, everything else is the same. If you're dealing with sessions at the track, you're most likely going to be logging in on this. You can log in through the browser as well. That's not a problem. It will look pretty much the same as this again. But yeah, that's a preview of the Android app. So that's an overview of the KartSetups software. This is our website here, which again has lots of information and where you're able to purchase the subscriptions. We do also have a pair subscription, so this would be something like some parents running their two brothers or something like that. So that would come under the pair. So you're only allowed 2 users and 2 drivers on that one. Team's pretty much unlimited, and then you've got the individual if you're just purchasing it as a driver yourself and want to use it. So yeah, the website has lots of information, contains our release notes. You can contact us. You can contact us there. I've also got live chat. I'm really active. I'll try and get back to you as quick as I can. Any improvements, any discussions, any questions, I'm really open to discussing it and trying to help you. Any feature requests, again, I'm all ears. I just, I really want to push this because I think it's really useful for people. And the portal login as well, so that links to the portal login, which if you're logged in, will automatically log you in. And yeah, that's a bit of an overview. We also do have test logins. So we have test logins for individuals and we have test logins for teams. So if you do want a demo of it and you want to mess around with it in your own time, I do have those available. So just get in contact with me in some way and I can pass over those details for you to have a look at the platform. But yeah, hopefully you like that. I think it's really powerful. It's been really useful just for myself to be able to store this data and have a look at it. I think the data analysis, the session data side is going to be really powerful. I'll try and get that out to teams as the next big feature, so you can look at it across all of your drivers. But yeah, as I say, get in touch, and yeah, hopefully you enjoy it.